You are going to die. Probably not today. But the countdown started the moment you were born, and it has never once paused. Here is the strange part. You live like it has. You scroll. You wait for Monday. You tell yourself the real version of your life will start later, after this busy season, after this next goal, after things finally calm down. Things never calm down. There is no waiting room before your life begins. This is it. It already started. So why does it feel like you are still rehearsing? The average human life lasts about 4,000 weeks. Say that number slowly, 4,000. If you are 30 years old, you have already spent more than 1,500 of them. Most of those weeks vanished without a trace, not because they were bad, because you were not paying attention when they happened. An Australian nurse named Bronnie Ware spent years caring for people in the final weeks of their lives. She asked them a simple question: what do you regret? Their answers were so consistent that she wrote them down. The number one regret of the dying was not about money. It was not about failure. It was this: I wish I had lived a life true to myself instead of the life others expected of me. The second most common regret: I wish I had not worked so hard. Nobody asked for a bigger house. Nobody asked for one more promotion. They asked for time back. And time was the one thing no one could give them. Now here is where it gets uncomfortable. You already know all of this. You have heard that life is short 1,000 times. So why does knowing it change nothing? Because of a glitch in your brain? A psychologist at UCLA named Hal Hershfield put people inside a brain scanner and asked them to think about themselves. A specific region of the brain lit up. Then he asked them to think about a stranger. A different pattern appeared. Then came the twist. He asked them to think about themselves 10 years in the future. For many people, the brain responded as if they were thinking about the stranger. Read that again. Your own future self registers in your brain as a stranger. That is why you waste tonight. You are not stealing time from yourself. You are stealing it from someone your brain does not believe is you. Every hour you burn feels free because the bill goes to a stranger. But you will become that stranger. You will stand in their shoes and inherit every choice you are making right now. So what should you actually spend your weeks on? Science has a surprisingly clear answer. Since 1938, Harvard has been running the longest study of human happiness ever conducted. It followed hundreds of people for more than 80 years, through wars, marriages, careers, and collapse. Its current director, the psychiatrist Robert Waldinger, compressed 8 decades of data into one sentence. Good relationships keep us happier and healthier. Period. Not wealth, not fame, not achievement. The people who flourished into old age were not the richest ones. They were the most connected ones. The lonely ones declined earlier, in body and in mind. Loneliness, the study found, can be as damaging to your health as smoking. Your relationships are not a distraction from a well-spent life. They are the well-spent life. And what about money? Here is the counterintuitive part. Money matters, but not in the way you use it. A researcher at Harvard Business School named Ashley Willens studied thousands of working adults and found a strange divide. People who value time over money are consistently happier, even when they earn less. Spending money to buy back time, fewer chores, shorter commutes, fewer obligations you secretly hate, increases happiness more reliably than spending it on things. Yet most people do the exact opposite. They trade their hours to buy objects, then have no hours left to enjoy them. You cannot get rich in money, go bankrupt in weeks, and call it winning. But maybe the deepest trap is not money at all. It is busyness. Busyness feels productive. It feels responsible. It is often something else entirely. A socially acceptable way to avoid asking what your life is actually for. A full calendar can be an empty answer. So ask yourself honestly, when you say you do not have time, is that true? Or do you not have attention? Because here is the final secret. Your life is not really made of weeks. It is made of moments of attention. The Nobel Prize-winning psychologist Daniel Kahneman showed that your memory does not record time like a camera. It keeps only the peaks and the endings. A 2-week vacation and a 1-week vacation often leave behind almost the same amount of memory. What you remember is not duration, it is intensity, which means a life can be long in years and still short in memory. If every day looks the same, your brain compresses entire years into a single gray file. That is why time feels faster as you get older. Not because the clock changed, because you stopped feeding your memory anything new. So spending life wisely is not about squeezing more into every hour. It is almost the reverse. Fewer things, chosen deliberately. Full attention on the people in front of you, because 80 years of data says they are the whole game. Money traded for time, instead of time traded for stuff. And enough newness, new places, new skills, new questions, that your brain actually keeps the footage. Tonight you will get a small test. A free hour will appear, and something glowing will offer to take it off your hands. Nobody will judge you either way. But now you know who pays for it. Not nobody, not later. A future person with your name, your face, and 4,000 weeks minus one. You are going to die. That was never the bad news. It is the only reason any of this matters. The deadline is what turns an ordinary Tuesday into something you cannot get back and would not want to waste. Life is not short because it ends. It is short because you were only half awake for so much of it. So wake up. Your countdown was never a threat. It was an invitation.